everyone. In this video, we'll take a look at my pickups for November, and I'll talk about why I picked these up and my thoughts about each. 1954's Godzilla, this released by Criterion. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I've seen this before. Beyond the effects being very dated, this is a good movie. I haven't been able to watch this yet. I've been watching a lot of everything in my home theater lately, but I'm definitely going to find time for this because I'm excited about this release. This is actually my second copy. I originally ordered from Amazon, but it delivered damaged, so I sent it back and picked this up at my local Barnes & Noble. They have a pretty decent selection of movies in good shape at prices comparable to Amazon and other vendors, so they're now a source for me from time to time. There are 2 discs in here, one 4K Blu-ray and a standard Blu-ray. In addition to the original 1954 Godzilla, this includes the 1956 so-called American version called Godzilla King of Monsters. There's an uncompressed mono auto mix with English subtitles, and it's loaded with extras. Another Criterion pickup, Seven Samurai. Never seen this movie, but I did my research and I'm interested in seeing this. Audio is in Japanese. There is a mono or 2.0 DTS HD option. English subtitles are available. It's loaded with bonus features, and I really like the look of these cases from Criterion. Simple, but they look good. Godzilla Minus One. I already did a review for this, so check that video out if you will. I'll put a link directly to that review in the description section below. This is a fantastic movie, one of my favorites of the year and one of my favorite looking cases. Like I said, there's a full review on the channel, so I won't go too in depth about it in this video, but I highly recommend picking this up. The Terminator. I've already done a movie review for this, so check that video out if you will. And again, I'll leave a link in the description section below. This is one of my favorite sci-fi action movies of all time. Huge fan of this 4K release. I've already seen this a few times in the short time I've had it. Such a good home theater watch. Looks fantastic. Audio shines in the action scenes. The non-action scenes, I wanted a little bit more if I'm being honest, but overall, audio was good. Again, I won't go too in depth here, but definitely check out my review video. North by Northwest. Earlier this year, I came across the American Film Institute's top 100 movies. I'd seen a lot of the movies on that list, but not all. So I started choosing a lot of the older movies from primarily the 50s and 60s because I haven't been as exposed to movies from those periods. So I found what I could via some streaming services, and one of my favorites of the bunch that I saw was North by Northwest. It's a really good action thriller from 1959. It's 2 hours and 16 minutes long. This has Dolby Atmos, and I'm very interested to check that out here. And it does have HDR10. There's a 4K disc, a standard Blu-ray, and digital code. This should be a good one. I already know the movie itself is very good. Looking forward to experiencing the audio and video in my home theater. I got the Steelbook, but I actually think the slipcover looks better. I went right for the Steelbook when the pre-order was up. Never went back to change it, but it's not a big deal. Rush. I saw this when it released for rent from Redbox years ago. I thought it was a good watch. I decided to pick this release up because I was primarily interested in the audio and video presentation in my home theater, being a racing movie. And I'm a pretty big Formula One fan, so the cars, the racing, and the history appealed to me. It's based on a true story, the rivalry between Formula One drivers James Hunt and Niki Lauda in the 70s. Both were polar opposites in both personality and driving styles. It's a story worth telling because it's interesting. The movie is just over 2 hours long, but it felt like it moved very fast. The cinematography is just fantastic. Very good looking shots. The 2 leads were good. Video quality is very good. It's clean, sharp, detailed, and rich. HDR is in Dolby Vision and HDR10. The Dolby Atmos mix absolutely shines. Audio is exactly what I would want from this kind of movie. The racing scenes are definitely a highlight. I would recommend giving this a try. It's a good watch and presented well in my home theater. Twilight of the Warriors Walled In. The trailer sold me for this. It looks action-packed and wild. Beyond that, I don't know anything about this movie, so it's a bit of a blind buy. HDR is in Dolby Vision and HDR10. Dolby Atmos is in Cantonese. English audio is available in DTS HD 5.1. There's only one 4K disc in this release. Looking forward to seeing this. Should be entertaining. Deadpool and Wolverine. I opted for the standard 4K case, no slipcover. I did pre-order the Steelbook, but I canceled just before it shipped because the price was just too high. It stayed in the $50 to $75 range wherever I looked, and that's just wild to me. There was nothing particularly special about the release that would justify that high of a price. There is Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, pretty standard bonus material one version of the movie, a 4K disc, a standard Blu-ray, and digital code. The movie is a lot of fun, story-wise, plot-wise. It was just okay. I enjoyed the moments in the movie more than the story as a whole. I never liked the TVA in the MCU. That idea never worked for me. I like the multiverse concept and the variants of the characters, but just not a fan of the TVA. There are a lot of jokes. If this was another movie, I'd feel there were maybe too many, but this is Deadpool and it's who he is, so that was fine with me, all the humor and the quips, and it all mostly landed with me. The only thing I did not like were some of the jokes that referenced real life outside the movie. Those references to real life and some of the fourth wall breaks took me out of the movie, and I didn't really like those as much. Beyond that, the movie is hilarious and a lot of fun, and that's what I think the movie makers were trying for. The movie offers a lot of bold, colorful, vivid images. It's loud, cool fights and explosions, and lots of characters and cameos, and all of that makes this movie exciting and engaging. It's not at all perfect, but it's a good time. Bloodsport. I didn't pick this up last year when it originally released overseas because I wanted to wait and see if it got a US release. It didn't, and I actually forgot about it until just recently. I found the best price through Amazon UK. It was my first experience ordering through Amazon UK. It took 7 days to deliver from placing the order to my doorstep. It arrived in a flexible cardboard envelope with no real protection, but surprisingly, it arrived in perfect condition. I remember seeing this as a kid and thinking it was one of the coolest movies I had ever seen. I'm a huge fan of the fights and the characters and the story. It's wild to me being able to watch some of my childhood favorite movies again in my own home theater as an adult. I absolutely love being able to have this experience, and I enjoyed watching this movie a lot in my home theater. Video-wise, it looks very good. Some scenes are not as good as others, but overall, visually, I enjoyed it. I felt the same about the audio. I used the Dolby Atmos English track. It wasn't especially impressive, but it was okay, and I'm very glad I finally picked this up. Arcane. I actually got this last month, but put it on the shelf and completely forgot to add it to my October pickups video, so I'm including this pickup in my November video. I originally saw this on Netflix. I knew nothing about it. It popped up as a recommendation. I decided to check it out because the animation looked different and interesting. I didn't anticipate watching the entire series, but the first episode drew me in. Every episode kept me coming back, and the series got better and better with every episode. A very good story here, a good assortment of characters, excellent action sequences. It has a steampunk vibe to it, a strong story with some layers to it. It's animated but not kid friendly. Some of the imagery may be frightening. There's a lot of graphic violence, some harsh language, and some adult moments. I picked this up because I didn't want to rely on this always being available to stream, and I liked it so much that I wanted it in the best possible quality. Glad I have it and looking forward to binge this entire show. A Quiet Place Day One, another movie that I got last month but forgot to share in that video. I'm a fan of this franchise. The first two movies I thought were excellent and presented very well in my home theater. Audio is among the best I've heard, and A Quiet Place Day One delivers more of the same. Audio and video are top-notch and presented very well in my home theater. Good separation throughout my speakers, distinct, well-defined sounds. Whether it was big, loud action scenes or quieter, subtle scenes, audio is very well done. Really good movie. And those are my November pickups. This was a really good month for movies. If you picked up any of these, share your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like and subscribe.